Welcome back to another Vi Media Marketing Monday episode. I hope everyone had a great New Year's, a great Christmas, or whatever holiday you guys celebrate out there. Today, I wanted to talk about really 2025. And I think it's going to be the year of, I don't want to say hurt on the American people and the economy, but by all means, it seems to be getting worse and worse. Obviously, Fed continuing to drop interest rates while other interest rates remain very high. And I think the American people are reaching a tipping point. And what does that really mean for, your business? When it comes from a digital marketing perspective, it's going to be you need to make sure that those marketing dollars are getting you as much money back in return. This is not going to be the year of wasteful spending, especially for your small business. And of course, you never want wasteful spending, right? So this is going to be the year, I think, and really moving forward as well, that you need to make sure that all of your dollars, when it comes to marketing and really your entire business, but of course here on the Vi Media channel, we're mainly focusing on the marketing aspects, but of course owning a business, there's a lot more that of course goes into it from an expense perspective. So I would say you want to make sure to buckle the hell down. And that doesn't mean turn off marketing, right? Because I know a lot of the time when things start to get rough for a company, they try and cut marketing expense, right? And then they'll immediately see a drop in sales because they're no longer marketing and they're no longer getting in front of those people that were needing their services. That's not the answer. The answer is to look at what has worked well over, say, the past couple of years when it comes to your business. What has not worked well? What expenses and budgets can you cut, not only from your day-to-day, but also from a marketing side? What areas were working well, what areas weren't? Do we need to focus more on Google Ads to drive specific revenue for searches that people are searching for and, of course, services that your company offers? Do we want to focus more on long-term, right, 5-year plan of course, Google, but then you also want to take into consideration branding. And that, of course, is always going to come back to the case of how much realistically do you want your company to be spending on branding versus essentially direct lead generation and just trying to get your business found by people searching for what you do, right? Or the products, of course, that you sell. Last week, I believe we talked about really looking at, 2024, looking at what worked well. We had meetings with all of our clients at the beginning of December to have a year in review and to really look at what's went well, what hasn't went well, or what could work better, and what flat out do we not want to do next year. And maybe what do we want to add in next year or for this video this year. And those are questions and planning realistically that business owners should have already done in December, right? We already have our sales and marketing strategy plan in place for 2025. We know exactly what we are going to be doing. We are going to be doing a lot more with Marketing Monday and this video that you're watching right now. Of course, continuing to make content like we are now, but we're going to have a little bit more fun as well, probably reacting to some awful TikTok advice for fellow small business owners and marketing, professionals, diving deep and really seeing what content's also being pushed out, for you guys and bad advice, because there's a ton of it, especially on, TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and everywhere else, of course, the places that we're at as well. And the advice on this channel, I'm not going to say is always 100% great, but it is what obviously we believe. And a lot of it's backed by what we do on a day-to-day basis for our clients and, of course, for ourselves and the companies that we own. So if you haven't strategized, if you haven't looked at 2024, if you haven't looked at the last couple of years, if you have not planned for 2025, watch the rest of this video and then start doing it. Or just start doing it now. Do yourself a favor. You need to go ahead and do that. You need to know on a yearly basis next year, what do you expect to grow from revenue, right? You look at your P&Ls from this year. Okay, great. You have EBITDAs and things like that you want to take a look at, to look at debts, expenses, taxes, things like that. And, from a marketing perspective, what's your budget, right? What's your total marketing spend budget for everything, not just digital, for events that you go to, for business cards, for name tags, for anything that has to do with literally marketing. You should have a total expense for that. If it's SEO, and then obviously you work with a marketing company, or you have an in-house marketing person that then hires out or hires an internal team, and you figure out where that money needs to be allocated. Obviously, some of that money is going to be direct allocation of management or salary, right? And then you're going to have the exact money that needs to go into ads, for example. But this stuff is not, for most businesses, this stuff is not going to be the same month to month, as we have talked about on this channel. We know that for a lot of our home service clients, the months where there's a lot more demand, we can spend more money, right? So let's just say, for example, we have $100,000 to spend in Google Ads, or let's just make it easy, $120,000 to spend in Google Ads. That does not mean we are going to spend $10,000 a month. Now, maybe for some businesses where you have steady income and steady jobs coming in over a yearly basis, you're not, and demand doesn't really fluctuate throughout the year, that of course your marketing spend is going to be more, across the line, across the board, the same, right? Now, with companies that we work a lot with, of course, in home service, obviously you have roofers, you have HVAC, you have people that work outside, right? And there are times where demand is very low. For example, you're an HVAC company or you're an insulation company like West County Insulation that we own. We know that when it's nice out, it's 70 degrees during the day, 50 at night, people aren't really worried if their heating, unit or cooling units even working. Maybe they don't even know because they're not even using it, right? So you have to make up for those times. You have to make up for those times. You have to drive demand during those times. You also realistically would like to be booked out, right? That way, during those slow times, your business is already booked out for at least some of that time. That way, it's already supplemented. And you were able to get that business by being busy and allocating more of that budget during those times where the demand is high. Of course, for an HVAC company or an insulation company, when it's hot or cold. Of course, no one likes being hot or cold in their house, but they can deal with it when it's 70 and 60 degrees outside, not when it's 20 degrees outside or 100 degrees outside. The same thing for roofers, right? Now, of course, this can also depend on where you're at in the United States. Obviously, here in Missouri, winters have been less and less winter lately, but we still have times where it's very cold out. You have snow and things like that. And you also have times of the year where people just don't care, like right now. Demand across the board over, really since about December 5th, December 8th or so, has been down for, most, if not all of our home service companies. And that just has to do with the holidays. The only thing that people are really going to be fixing is if they have to. If they can wait a couple of weeks or they can wait 30 days, they will, right? People are also tapped out right now in December with spending money on other things, presents, activities, traveling, right? So you have to be able to be fluid with that money. And then Facebook can potentially supplement Google Ads when there's not as much demand. Spend more money on Facebook. Of course, it's going to be harder. Your cost per lead's probably going to be higher. But again, if you're properly planning for that as well, then that's not a cause for concern because you're already planning for it. So there's a lot and there's also a lot changing in 2025. I'm sure that we're going to be talking about here in the next few weeks with all these AI search engines. There's paid search engines now that I was just listening to, and they don't seem to work very well. But Google started in a space too where they weren't great. So we'll see where that stuff goes. And then, of course, that's going to be a concern. And it's going to be a concern for us and also for the companies that we represent, because those platforms, right, may not even have paid search, right? Then you're going back to SEO. And how do you rank on these, these AI platforms, right? And that's something we're going to have to learn, and we're slowly learning. One of our larger SEO clients, it's actually in industrial mechanical. That's a large B2B based business. Metal fabrication ranks very well nationally, and they are starting to get ChatGPT leads. And the reason we know that is because we're directly measuring where all of their leads are coming from. It's coming from the website. How are they getting to the website? We could track that stuff, and we started to see ChatGPT leads coming in, which is insane and makes sense. Surprised it wasn't sooner, but it really seems like that stuff is starting to take hold. So your marketing company or your marketing executive, or if you're the business owner and you're in charge of marketing, you need to be aware of that, and you need to just be staying on top of the ball. And that means joining groups of marketing professionals where they're talking about that stuff. There's a ton of bad marketing groups, of course, as well, just like anything else. You want to make sure you're getting in with actual professionals that know what the hell they're talking about. So plan for 2025. Make sure you know January through December of this year what we're looking at, right? What to expect. How much more revenue do you want to make this year? Do you want to make the same amount? Maybe you're downsizing. Maybe you want to make less, right? Your marketing company or your marketing plan should have a plan in place for that. So short episode today. As always, we'll be back next week with another episode, another Marketing Monday episode. We have other videos on this channel. We're probably getting close to, 60, 70 Marketing Monday episodes now, all of them around 15 to 30 minutes, talking about everything from Google Business Profiles to Google Ads to SEO to building a website to social media to building a brand, how to hire a good marketing company, what to look out for, red flags, analytics, on and on. We've got all of that stuff here on the Vi Media channel. We appreciate everyone's support, and as always, please like, review, subscribe, leave a comment. If you have a question, let us know. We'll answer that. You could feel free to reach out to us at Vi Media. You can reach out to myself at Eric Kempf Brown across all the platforms. As always, best marketing company on the planet. We'll see you next week. Thank you.